Hmm.
Hello, Tracy.
Hey there.
How are you doing?
Let me fix my speaker.
Yeah, me too.
All right. That should be better.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The speaker was sitting on my desk. I wasn't sure we were going to have a meeting today. I thought we decided to not have meetings for a while.
I thought it was starting August, but makes sense in July as well.
Yeah. We all need a break sometimes, right?
Uh,
Hi, hello. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Carlos.
well,
Hello.
How you doing?
Good.
melting here. It's super hot.
Mm.
Oh, wow. How much? How hot is it?
Huh?
What's the temperature that you get?
In Celsius or in Fahrenheit? Yeah.
Uh, well,
Which you,
Celsius, it's easier for me, but Fahrenheit is fine too.
yes. Like inside my room is 30 degrees Celsius.
Wow,
It's
yeah, it's
like
pretty hot.
80, 86, 87. Yeah. Outside is 36. It's unbelievable.
Too, too hot. Yeah, here I'm in Wales. I mean, we had like 29, 30 degrees over the weekend, and that was kind of the very highest temperature and very hot for the considered very hot by local people. So it was quite pleasant actually.
Yeah, I don't want to be in your part of the world at that temperature because I assume the humidity is probably also higher than my humidity is. So things are hot and wet for you.
Okay. So maybe let's wait another minute. See if it- Okay, well, it's pretty fast. So get started. So welcome everyone to the TOC meeting. Yeah, just wanted to mention first, as I discussed last meeting, I canceled all the August TOC meeting. In trying that, I temporarily canceled those in July, then I restored them. Sorry about that. I hope you didn't get like a spam email. Sorry. And during CDCon, the CDF Community Awards winners were announced. So congratulations to all of them for the awards and for the great service that they provide this community. If there's someone who won a couple of awards in the meeting today. So, congrats, Tracy.
Thank you.
Yeah, and congrats to everyone else and the project most valuable contributors for the various projects. And for Jenkins as well. And yeah, congrats. All right. So yeah, I know a few of you were at CDCon last week. So one question that Roxanne asked if you were there, if you had any feedback about the event, if you'd like to share with the group or with her. And also I wanted to ask if anyone felt like giving a quick update, short summary of what happened, how it went.
So I'm happy to give a little bit of an update. I'm sorry that we couldn't get the audio to work for our focus group. So if you joined, the audio was not working. They could not sort it out to get, the audio was non-existent. Let's just put it that way. But,
Yeah,
it was insightful. Actually, it was shocking. It was shocking. That's the best way to describe it. How can I even start? I mean, I started by asking about SBOMs. And, this was a CI/CD cybersecurity discussion, right? And the response was, we don't generate SBOMs, mainly because they are not accurate and they don't lead to, there's no real reason to do it. That was the best way to describe it. Wouldn't you say, Mark? That was just no reason to.
Well, it was that, hey, an inaccurate SBOM leads you to run your scanner directly on the artifact anyway. And if you were running your scanner directly on the artifact, why bother with the SBOM? Right. So yeah, it was questionable, but there were certainly people in the group who were delivering SBOMs because they were contractually required to do so, right?
Yeah,
And
they said if their bottom line depended upon it, then that was when they would do it. If
right.
it was attached to their revenue. Which is kind of shocking considering how much work this OpenSSF is doing around SBOMs. I mean, that's all they do is work on better SBOMs and improving SBOMs and bomb control and protobomb and in toto, right? So there was and most of, I don't think anybody raised their hand when I asked if anybody knew what protobomb even was. So that was surprising to me. And the other thing that was surprising to me was I didn't feel like there was a a real interest in moving the CI/CD process forward or trying to see how it may be disrupted. I spoke with Alan Schimmel, who went to Platform Engineering, the Platform Con. It's like it's an online show, 50,000 people, something of that sort. Most of the average age is around 35. And I think they will disrupt what we do in CI/CD. That group will eventually take over what we're doing. And while MCPs were discussed in this meeting and were not accepted, the one thing that they talked about at PlatformCon was MCP servers for everything. So I feel like, and I feel like we've just gotten stuck in the way we do things as a community, and we are going to be replaced. I know, Mark, but that's what I see. I see that coming. I see it like a freight train coming, actually, especially with the platform engineering teams doing what they're doing. And they're building out the tooling now for developers. They will take over the CI/CD process. So I feel like we should be looking at that. Maybe we should have a platform engineering group that is part of, like a SIG that can help give direction to CI/CD, to us as a CD foundation, where they see CI/CD going. But I certainly believe that there is a disruption coming and we're not part of it.
Did you get a feeling, Tracy, if the kind of platform approach is for cloud native scenarios only, or there was anything?
Well, I didn't go to Platform
terms-
Con, but I have been trying to watch the platform engineering sort of community. And no, I don't believe it's just that movement is not just for cloud native, even though cloud native may have spurred it to get it moving faster forward. I don't think it's just about cloud native, because now they're talking about not just standing up platforms for operations, but they're talking about, really creating a golden path that goes beyond build and deploy. It's about the developer environment, the testing environments, the build environments, the deployment environments, and the production environment. So, yeah, we should be listening to that group of people and somehow bring them into this fold in some way. Tools like Terraform kind of started it, right? And OpenTofu. That's what got people excited about being able to do things. And GitOps disrupted deployments. And it's just an extension of that brand, I guess you would call it. And it's super exciting right now. Super, super exciting. There are a lot of people talking about it. There's a lot of interest in it, and there's a lot of jobs in it. So yeah, that's what I think. I think we should figure out how to bring in a platform engineering discussion into the CD Foundation and listen to what they're saying and what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, from the CD events point of view, we have had some conversation with, platform engineering folks, because, I mean, what they want to do, I mean, with the platform engineering is, like centralized services for like large enterprise or company. And they have some golden paths, some like selection of tools that they make work together in a platform. But they still have the same problem of like, okay, if we go for, let's say, if we pick Spinnaker for deployment, but some of our teams, they don't want to use Spinnaker, they want to use something else. How do we integrate other tools in the same platform? And CD events is something that could help them there, because, well, first of all, terms of data produced by these tools. If they produce CD events, you can get the same type of data, because even if you switch the tools, so you don't have to, re-implement things like your evidence store. If you're building auditing based on the events you receive, it still works as before. And if you are doing things like triggering tools through events, that helps you as well. So for instance, if you have thinking Canoe, that they DB platform, they built initial POC. I think it was based on GT or some SCM, but if they want to do it with GitLab or GitHub, it's different events that they're triggering things, so they needs to be adapted. And if they had like a common language like CD events, it could help. It could help them. So we had this kind of conversations.
I'm not surprised because they're looking for a more adaptable way of building these workflows. To have a golden path that actually performs particular requirements, but it doesn't mean it has to be the same tool that everybody uses.
Yeah, exactly.
So it has to be a more adaptable, agile pipeline. So, I don't know how we would do it. Maybe we would create maybe a platform engineering advisory council. To start, and have a quarterly meeting with them. Maybe this group. I'm not sure how we would bring them into the conversation. I don't know if that's something from, we don't really have money to do DevRel, so it wouldn't be. We might be able to reach out to some of our ambassadors, see if any of them are in the platform engineering space, and see if we could at least have an advisory council, and just to hear what they're doing. What are you doing? What's the next step? What's new in this space? Because we're eventually going to see them start taking over the builds. It's just going to happen. The writing's on the wall. So how do we stay relevant, right? How does Jenkins stay relevant in this space? How does Spinnaker? How do we all stay relevant in the space? How does CD Foundation stay relevant in the space? So, I feel like we should be ahead of it and not behind it, and at least part of the conversation. And we should be more in the conversation around security too, and trying to educate the CI/CD, or DevOps engineers around the importance of adding some of this, the security, and why it goes beyond just about, the SBOMs are just a check mark. Well, they're not. They're starting to be consumed and used, and maybe when that happens, they'll start thinking about doing it. But we didn't even get a lot of feedback about people doing attestation or signing. That's all done at the developer side. That's not something that DevOps engineers should be doing. So it felt like there was a good amount of, hey, we got it. What we're doing now works, and we don't really think we should change. And when you arrive at that conclusion, it means that you've retired. You've retired to say, hey, everybody else could go do something else. We got our thing going, and we do a good job of it, and that's where we're at. So I thought I was shocked by it. I was shocked by the overall attitude in general. I did ask about software debloating, which offered a very interesting discussion. 3 people in the room, the state of New Hampshire, eBay, and Adobe all were like, yeah, we need to learn more about this. This would be an interesting topic for the CD Foundation, even if we did something around just doing some research around it, but not enough people were interested in having that discussion. It was just 3 who raised their hand and said, yeah, it would be interesting to have some research done on software debloating to see if this is an area that could actually be addressed. And Adobe, eBay, and the state of New Hampshire, and I don't know, Adam Chen, I think, was the person from Adobe. I don't remember the name from the state of New Hampshire or eBay. And eBay said that they've already, of course, we've worked, Chain Guard's here. We know how important debloating is, right? Chain Guard's doing a level of that, and there's going to be Chain Guard libraries that are also going to be cleaned libraries for you to consume. But we're not, but that's not going down into saying, okay, I got Python. Python has hundreds and hundreds of open source packages. Are they actually used? And should we be cleaning up the build process as the CD Foundation? Should we be looking at that or leading the conversation? What should we be doing to stay on top and stay relevant and get blogs and be more of an organization than, 5 or 6 projects? And that's what I don't see us doing. And these are some of the topics that could take us to the next level. Platform engineering, what can be done in the build process to build more secure pipelines, I just don't see us doing that. And now I understand why, because there's not a lot of interest in it. I tell people all the time, I'm one of the most curious people you probably will ever meet. And that's why I like being in the software business, because I never stop learning, and I'm always curious about what the next iteration of software is going to be. And when I look at platform engineering, and the more I learn about it, I'm like, oh, this is the next iteration of DevOps. So that's what I learned from CDCon.
And I think that's the story that the platform engineering world tells, right? Is we are the next they are the next iteration of DevOps, right? They're the broadening of DevOps. So yep, that fits with their marketing spin as well.
Yeah, but as we know, I mean, both in terms of security as well as in terms of platform engineering, I mean, the most relevant project, or well, not all relevant project in that space, those spaces, they went to other foundations. So we have the OpenSSF, they took over the supply chain when they created the platform movement. Most tools were born on top of Kubernetes. They went to the CNCF. And yeah, I mean, we, as a small foundation, we probably were not attractive enough for those projects to join us. So do not provide enough motivation for them to join us as compared to CNCF. Yeah, so but I don't know how we can solve that the kind of problem. I mean, one of the differentiation that the CDF has always had compared to like CNCF is that we care about building software regardless of the platform underneath. So it's not cloud native only, it's like continuous delivery in all the different industries and contexts across industries, basically. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Tracy, that I mean, it's important that we do things that to stay relevant. And if we can, even if we cannot get the project from platform engineering, it's important that we know what happens, and we have conversations.
Listening. Yeah, we should have the
Yes.
conversation. Yeah.
And we should have conversation with people on the platform engineering, continue conversations like we've done with CD events, and continue to do other conversation as well. Because, I mean, on the platform engineering, they kind of provide like the overall orchestration, single dashboard, nice DevX for users and support, but they still do not provide the tools, to set up your pipelines, to do your continuous deployments and so forth. So they still rely on Tekton, Spinnaker, Jenkins, and so forth to do those things. They provide like a framework to integrate them and avoid the, for like, if you have a team that want to start doing their builds, they don't need to care about configuring all these different tools, making them work together, answering and making them compliant with a number of internal regulation or external regulations. And I think that's what platform provides. But they still need like the tools, like the project that we have at the CDF. So it's important to have those conversations and make sure that we can work together.
Well, maybe starting in the fall, we can come up with some ideas and how we at least can begin the conversation and start listening to Let's start listening to the platform engineering group as step one. How do we get involved in that conversation? I think it'd be interesting to reach out to the ambassadors and see if any of them are in the platform engineering space and if they'd like to lead some kind of a, for lack of a better description, of a advisory council. You know, I think we can come up with a better name than that, but everybody likes to be on advisory councils, so I'll just use that as an example. But that's not something we can decide today, but I would hope that we'd all think about it and how we might be able to implement it. Which is why I got the I got I got the award for the most enthusiastic CD person. I'm always thinking about something new and bringing up the subject. I'm sure that's why I got that continuous enthusiast award.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to think. I think the platform engineering group that I know of is part of the CNCF, right? Does anyone have a link handy to paste in here? Otherwise, I will look it up afterwards and add it to the notes so we have some.
I
So
don't have anything.
So the people that organize this platform basically to figure out. I thought there was some kind of special interest group or TOC the CNCF. Well, I'll look it up afterward.
There probably is. I would be surprised if there wouldn't be, but I don't think I know of any.
Ask you guys. I know who the people are. I deal with them directly. It's the people from Humanitech that organize PlatformCon.
They would be the people to talk to, right?
There's a lady in Canada you want to speak to. Her name is Mallory. She's one of the instructors for the entire university of platformengineering.org. That's where I'm doing my course through. She's amazing. Yeah. And
Thanks, Sasha.
It's driven a lot by the guys from Humanitech, the CEO, Casper. I also know him personally. Because of my connection at Nagara, we have a partnership with them. So it's like I know them directly. I'm like in the Slack channel with them. Yeah.
Well, why don't you ping them and see if they'd be interested in having a conversation with us on a quarterly basis and what's up and what's new.
I think they would. They're very open. Yeah. The whole platform engineering community hangs out in a Slack channel that I'm part of because I'm doing my certification there. So there's a ton of people in there. I can send it to you.
Could you send me what is the Slack channels? What is it?
Yeah, let me get it for you. I've got it too. Yeah. Because they set up our course, a whole group of us in there for our course. Do you find it in here? I'll get it for you now. Just got to find out how to share this thing out of Slack.
Why don't you just go send an email to everybody in the CDF TOC and so that everybody has it and it's not in the.
Cool. I'll do that.
Maybe we can all join it and start listening. I think listening is the first thing we have to do, to be honest.
Yeah. I know the canoe people, they have a Slack channel on the CNCF one, but I don't know the one that you're missing. So it would be great to get
Yeah, and
connected there.
there's a GitHub repo you can run called Pocket IDP. You can literally run a whole platform engineering entire setup in your Docker container on your local Docker.
Is that the canoe? Because that's what
No,
they
it's not
do.
kind of called Pocket IDP. I know Canoe. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But isn't Canoe more like a framework than a tool? Yeah, I'll put the
Well,
GitHub repo for you.
they have Pocket IDP.
Yeah.
Well, they have a CLI basically that lets you.
They let you decide, right?
They let you basically set up like an IDP in a container kind of thing with a set of tools. So it's similar in a way. Just add it to the list.
Yeah, but there's a lot of these tools in this space and they take care of all the CI/CD. You don't have to have another tool. And if you do have another tool, you can just integrate it into the into it. For example, like
Yeah.
kubevela, you can just deploy that and it'll take care of everything for you. The Humanitic operator kind of does the same thing. They wrote it's called Score, which makes it easier for developers to request the type of resources they need in a very, very, very minimal bit of code. I think they donated it to the CNCF.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's like an abstraction. It abstracts the complexity of the resources you require into like a tiny bit of YAML like this. Like I need a Redis server. Okay, where do you need it? And you just put in like a few lines. That's it, done. It deploys, everything sets it up for you.
Cool. Thanks, Asher.
No worries.
Anything, Mark, you wanted to bring up before you have to go?
Excellent sessions, and I thoroughly enjoyed the session that Tracy facilitated. Right, good insights from people. Lots of cool stuff that happened. Great discussions about security on OpenSSF Community Day the day after. That CDCon was a great success. Yeah, really, truly impressive number of people attending the presentations. Like the format being in the same space as Open Source Summit gives people a chance to flow between presentations. Worked really well. And I apologize that I've got to drop off, but I'm running another meeting starting now. So thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
I gotta drop
Yeah, there
myself.
were just as a side note, we did have a fairly decent sized room and it was full. And there were many, many new people, a lot of them from the Denver area, or that I asked and they said they were able to come because Denver was an easy flight. So Denver is a good place for doing those types of shows. Apparently, there were several people who had been first timers at Open Source Summit, and I started asking why. And many of them were from the Denver metropolitan area, but there were others that I spoke to, and they said, "Yeah, this was an easy flight for us. Easy flight from Dallas. It was it was a easy flight from New York. So Denver, it seems to be a location that people are willing to get to."
Great. Thanks, Tracy. Oh, it looks like Sam provided some.
And we had about 80 people in that CI/CD focus group. And we did it during lunch, and people brought their lunches in and stayed for the entire time. We started at 12:35 on the nose. People started bringing in their box lunches. The room filled up, and we stayed there and talked until 2 o'clock, 2:05. the next meet call was at the next presentation was at 2:10. So we literally had to say, okay, we have to stop because we have 5 minutes to get all of our trash out of here. So that was really encouraging that people really did want to talk about what they were doing and some of the challenges, and what they thought about security and the future of CI/CD.
Great. Yeah, I'm very sad I wasn't able to be there. Sounds like it was really
Me too. I wish you could have
exciting.
been there too. Well, it was just eye-opening. That's the best way I could describe it. It was eye-opening. When I talked about MCP servers, I thought people's heads were going to explode. And I was like, I'm sorry, guys. I got to push you. We have to have this conversation. They're coming.
Yeah. Okay. Jason had to drop as well. Sorry, this canyon. Wow, you're full of resources, Sasha. Thanks.
I'm a
I'm
pantry.
not sure I'm
ask
putting
Tracy.
them in the right group, but
Sasha
Sorry,
is
I'm just
full of
sharing it with you
resources.
guys.
Sasha is a platform engineer, so he's probably like,
Yeah,
this is
I'm a
happening.
platform engineer. I'm doing it every day. I'm a associate lead of a team, so it's crazy. I'm not even doing platform engineering at the moment. I'm doing data engineering. I'm building bots in Python. But I mean, I do everything. Doesn't matter. And AI just makes it makes me even more versatile. Right?
yeah,
Like a ninja, right? I can glue anything together now. Seriously, I can glue anything. I can take any creativity and I can glue it together now. It's amazing. AI is going to change. It's crazy.
yeah, it is. Well, glad to have you here, Sasha, even more.
No problem. I love the CDF, man. Such cool people. Yeah.
Me too. Me too. That's why I want to make sure we survive in the long run and we stay
Exactly.
relevant.
Yeah, exactly.
Being relevant is essential.
Yeah.
And we will get the CIC cybersecurity website. I'm hoping will be out by like October. That time frame. We still have a lot of writing to do, but I think we're taking some time off. Everybody's got assignments, so let's see how far we get.
Yeah. Well, I think we have a lot of good ideas, things we can do to stay relevant. So yeah, thanks for that. And thanks for contributing to very successful CDCon.
It was fun. It was good.
Yeah.
And I
there will
have to
be
report that we went to Meow Wolf, and most people were just sitting around eating and at the tables and probably doing much more appropriate networking. But me and Steve Chin and Melissa McKay and about 5 other DevOps people, we really actually got into solving the story and trying to find the story of Meow Wolf. It was pretty hilarious, actually. We had fun. So I thought it was interesting that it was the DevOps engineers that had to decide that we had to figure out what the story was and why our minds were being warped by Meow Wolf.
okay. All right. Yeah, this session recordings will be available, so that's great. I will catch up
Okie doke.
sessions there. Yes, Sasha, good.
How can I send a message to everybody in this group? How do I do that? I know it's like some Google group, but how do I do that?
Should be able to just
Uh,
email it to CDF TOC. Oh, you're not on it, so you can't.
No, because
Send it to,
I'm
email
a
it to
party
me and I'll,
crasher.
yeah, so send it to me and I'll send it to everybody, okay?
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't want to spend. I'll send you a shopping list, Tracy, and
Okay,
for you. Okay,
all right,
cool. And all the
perfect.
contacts of people that I know. Okay,
Okay, perfect.
cool.
Great. All right. Well then, great to see everyone.
You too. Next year, you better be at CDCon.
I will.
Okay,
Have a good rest of your day.
all right, bye.
Take care.
Bye. Bye.